える。慌てる必要はない。
Hello, welcome. Hello. Oh, there's a familiar name. Tush? Tush? Tusha? I don't know how to pronounce it, I'm sorry. But I recognize your name because I remember you were one of the requesters for 3.4 Spiral Abyss, I think. Thank you for joining us tonight. I know the time is not great again. I'm starting on floor 10 this time because last time we had a lot of issues with the stream quality, so I'm going to use floor 10 as a kind of buffer to figure out our settings, make sure everything looks okay, and then once we know that things look okay, I'm going to move on to floor 11 and 12 because I think it's a new rotation this time. Hello, welcome. Thank you for swinging by to say hi. Good night and good luck with school tomorrow. I appreciate you swinging by to say hi though. And I know I'm sorry I'm streaming really late at night, especially for East Coast folks. I recommend Ayaka Hypercarry for the second half of floor 12. I had no problems with that team, even though it's not very F2P. That's good advice. Thank you for letting me know. I haven't had a chance to look at the lineup for floor 12 very carefully yet, so we'll see how it looks once we get there. Thank you for the suggestion, though. 11 p.m. for you, so I guess that means your mountain time, so your Midwest US. I used to live in Colorado for a while, and that's the time zone that I was in when I was growing up there. Is the stream quality okay, by the way? The resolution's probably not great because I've deliberately turned it down quite a bit. I think it's at like 480p or something, so it's pretty low. But as long as it's not like really, really low frame rate, I think I'm pretty happy with it because that was the main issue last time. It's just we were getting like 1 frame per second. No Weena equals good Abyss. Yeah, I agree. that was a really rough cycle, I think. I don't like the new enemies, none of them. Oh dang, okay. I was able to 8-star the previous Abyss, but I don't think I have any chance this time. Oh wow, okay. It's that tough, huh? Yes. Well, hopefully I can help with that. Who is that? Hell no? Hell no says that they don't think they have a chance, but hopefully with my guide videos that'll change. But I don't want to set your expectations too high either. So let's look at the enemies first. Stream looks good for me. All right, thank you. Thank you for confirming.
競争よ決し
風の行く先よ風の歌雲の
ご安心踊りなさい桜吹雪命ずる
風の赴くままに
あれ狂いなさい
Where did she go? Oh, there she is. The new beasts are very stupid, just like the previous Vulture and Scorpion duo. I see. So it's a new pair of consecrated beasts, I guess. Is that what's happening? If I didn't pull for Nahida, I for sure wouldn't be able to 36 star. Oh wow, okay. Oh, new Hilly Trail enemies. That's pretty cool. An Anemo Hilly Trail and Hydro Hilly Trail. Alright, and then looks like they've moved the Shadow Husks to floor 11. Floor 11 doesn't look too bad. I think some people might struggle with the Hydro Mimics, but as long as you have enough Dendro and Cryo on this half, you should be fine. And then I'll see how hard these guys are. I haven't fought the Hydro Hillies. Or I think I fought the Anemo Hilly in the event, but the Tiger and the Crocodile. I'm nervous to try this AoE on my second account. First chamber is intimidating. No way I'm clearing this with Hu Tao. This looks like an AoE check. Oh, interesting. Okay. Alright, all characters in the party gain 75% Dendro damage. I'm thinking, let's see, definitely want Dendro on the second half because of these Hydro Mimics. And then for the third chamber, let's see, we have a Mirror Maiden, and then we have a Hydro Gunner. So we need Electro here. Other than Electro, so we want Electro Dendro on the second half. So that means we need a Quicken team on the second half. And then on the first half, we've got Serpent Knights, so no shields, first of all. That means no shields in the second half. And then I don't really see any restrictions here. We've got an Electro Lawitro, so I guess no Electro. But aside from that, I don't think there's any strict restrictions here. So I think I'm just going to go National first half, and then some kind of Quicken team on the second half. So let's try that. And then for Quicken, I'll just do something like Nahida, or maybe I'll do like Yao Yao Alhaitham. Does that sound okay? Do like Yao Yao Fischl Beidou maybe? Should I throw Beidou in there? Should I turn into a Hyper Bloom team? Maybe I'll go Hyper Bloom. Add like who's a good Hydro character here? I guess I'll do Yelan. I don't want to use 2 5-stars, but oh well. Let's try that. The new Hillies look so cool. Yeah, the art looks pretty nice. At least just from the thumbnail, so we'll see what they look like. I really like Hyper Fridge for second half. Oh, Hyper Fridge sounds nice because you can freeze the Hydro Mimics and you still get the Dendro damage off. So that sounds like a pretty good idea to me too. Looks like we just got some Lawich or Miditrills here, so this doesn't seem too bad. And then second wave, we've got the Electro Lawitrills. I see. Yeah, so this isn't too bad, I think. Standard national team should be able to take care of this pretty easily. I used double Hydro in that chamber. If it wasn't for Zhongli, I wouldn't have. I would have had to restart. Yeah, double Hydro doesn't seem like a great idea here. If you're talking about the second half here. Oh no, these birds! These freaking birds! I always forget about them. It's a good thing Alhaitham can jump. And Hyper Boom is homing actually, so even without Alhaitham, I guess I would have been fine. Oh, and there's actually 3 Hydro Abyss Mages, so you do need quite a bit of Cryo and Dendro application here, huh? Yeah, luckily Al Haitam Yao gives a lot of Dendro application, but if you're unprepared for that, then I could definitely see those guys giving you a hard time. Ayaka freeze worked okay for me second half, just needed to burst the birds. Yeah, that makes sense. 2.1 is too hard, or 12.1 is too hard, 12.2 and 12.3 are easy. Oh, interesting. So you think the first chamber is actually the hardest one here. I'll have to see what that looks like. Oh, Ruin Drakes. I hate these guys. They always, it's always so hard to group these guys. They're always like running away from you. So it makes it a little tough. It looks like Xiangling's AoE is able to kind of cover them, so that's nice. Oh, it looks like there's a second wave after this. So. If this were on a 3-minute chamber, this would actually be a pretty tough floor, I feel like. But luckily, it's just 11-2, so it's not a huge deal. But yeah, those Ruin Drakes can be really annoying.
みんながそばにいてくれるわ。
7号式モジュール6308式ユニット師匠の技を食らいなさい。熱々で雨描きがたし燃えろ。
Wow, everybody's saying 12-1 is super hard. That's really interesting. Okay. 12-1 is the hardest I've seen. You need 2 teams with super AoE, 2 beasts on each half. Oh, wow, interesting. Okay. Maybe I'll... Oh, new enemy entry. Alright, here we go. Wow, yeah, look at that artwork. This is incredible. That looks so nice. Mysterious Hilichurl that can manipulate Hydro to a certain degree. Such Hilichurls will use Hydro Slimes in battle to launch mist bubbles, burst these Hydro Slimes to cause their effects to rebound on the rogues. Oh, interesting. Alright, so that probably just means I'm just gonna Unga Bunga, but we'll, we'll pretend we're playing strategically here. Oh, it looks like the Anemo Hilichurl is like using Anemo Slime to fly in the air. It's pretty interesting. And then we've got... Okay, we have Geo Bishops. Okay, that's not too bad. Yeah, it seems like the consensus is that 12-1 is super hard. So I'm a little scared going into this, but we will see. What do we got? We've got Kairagi. They both have auras, but they're not. The auras aren't too difficult to deal with at least, so that's good at least. Pyro Electro Aura aren't the worst, I think. I'm not grouping these guys very well. Oh, and then it's Serpent Knights, I see. Let's see if we can get behind the big guy here. And then we have 2 ranged guys back here, so we actually want to focus these 2. The 2 archers. Alright. The days when I thought Geo Bishop was annoying, I'd rather have them than whatever the consecrated beasts are. Yeah. I still remember when 2 Kairagi were hell back in 2.0, now they're literally fodder. That's true, huh? Yeah, the enemies have gotten way, way harder as we've gotten better and we've gotten a better understanding of the game, I think. Game's mechanics and how to deal more damage, how to work around enemy mechanics and stuff, so I think that's just a natural consequence of the game developing and growing over time. Oh shoot, you know what I just realized? I didn't bring Cryo for the Electro Hammer. Hopefully I can DPS this guy down quickly enough. This guy is only weak against Cryo. So I just have to brute force through his health bar, through the damage reduction. But yeah, this is not the proper way to do it. Oh my goodness, it's 2 Mirror Maidens. That's actually super annoying. I could see this being a pretty tough floor for some people too, actually. Or tough chamber, rather. 2 Mirror Maidens this far apart is like really tough. It's really hard to group these guys. Oh, and this one has the slowing aura. Do both of them have the slowing aura, actually? I wonder if I should have focused this one first. But yeah, this is a pretty tough chamber, actually. This is kind of like 10-3 all over again, with like ranged enemies that are spread apart with the Hydro debuff. It's a pretty tough chamber, actually. All right, so. Is this guy Dendro or Anemo? Oh, it must be Dendro because Anemo's already taken by that dragon. So we've got Dendro and Hydro consecrated beasts, which means we need Bloom on this half. So probably like Hyper Bloom on this half. They're all melee. Actually no, Ruin Destroyer is ranged. Huh. And then on this half we have Dendro and Scorpion is what? Electro. So we need Quicken on this half. Interesting. And we have Aeon Blight Drake, Hydro Hilly. Oh, interesting. But then you have Azimon in the first half, so you need Dendro Electro on the first half. So probably Hyper Bloom first half for sure. And then Hyper Bloom will also take care of these guys because this guy's weak against Dendro when he's stunned, and then this guy's weak against Hydro when he's stunned. And then you have the Kanki Trio, which requires a lot of AoE. So, and then you've got a lot of light enemies here. So I think Kazuha on the second half is definitely gonna be Kazuha or Nahida, I guess. Honestly, you need like 2 Nahidas here. If I was just thinking, Nahida would be really great for the first half and the second half here. So that's kind of unfortunate, but I think I'm gonna give Nahida on the second half just because of the Kanki Trio. She does so much work against these guys. And then we also have Aeon Blight Drake, so we need an archer here. So probably Yelan here. So I think I'm gonna go some kind of Yelan Hyper Bloom team on the first half. Yeah. And then on the second half, I'm gonna go Nahida. Maybe I'll try using Alhaitham again. Nahida Alhaitham, like Quicken team again. Yeah, so this is very, very. This is like not very F2P friendly. So this is not a very good example of how to clear this with a budget, but we'll see how this goes. So I'm gonna go Nahida Official. I need a healer here. Probably Kokomi, I guess. Oh gosh, I'm using so many 5 stars. I'm sorry, guys. And then we're gonna go Yelan Hyper Bloom. Oh wait, but then who's the Dendro player if I go Yelan Hyper Bloom? We go Traveler, I guess, but that's a little copium. Let's see here. Nahida is better second half. First half needs an archer. I couldn't beat first half with Hyper Bloom. I could do it with Burgeon though. 12-1 feels harder thanks to the consecrated beasts. Who's Dendro on the first half then? Yeah, good question. Raiden on second half can work too. Raiden seems like a good choice too, actually, because her AoE is actually quite good. Let me think here. I think, okay, so then I think I'm going to split up Alhaitham and Nahida, since I do kind of want a lot of Dendro application on both halves. So then... Enemy friendly cry. I know, I'm sorry. Let me see if I can figure out something a little bit more F2P friendly. I think as long as I have Nahida on the second half, I should be fine with whatever comp I go with. So I'm probably going to go to try for some kind of budget Nahida with like Xingqiu and Kuki. And then on the first half, I want to do something with Yalan because she's an archer and she can take down the Aeon Blight Drake. But then the Azimon... I guess I could just use Fischl instead of Yalan for my archer here. Because then that takes care of my Electro requirement as well. So then maybe something with Fischl Alhaitham. Nahida... Xingqiu... Kuki. So that's my Hyper Bloom core. Okay, so let's leave the 4th slot open for now. Imagine not having both Nahida and Alhaitham. I know, right? Come on, F2P people. No, I'm kidding. I'm sorry. I'm going to try to avoid using Alhaitham, actually, because he is kind of a... Like, if you already have Nahida, then having Alhaitham is kind of a luxury option for sure. Maybe I can do something with Raiden here, because Raiden is, I think she's a reasonable pick for people to have. I think Raiden Nahida is a very popular 5-star duo for F2P players to have, so I'm going to try to build around them, I think. And then I know I'm going to need Dendro here because of Azimon, and I'm also going to need an archer. So maybe some kind of aggregate Raiden team? Is that kind of copium? Official... And maybe just like Animo or something? Maybe I'll go Animo in the second half. Do Sucrose maybe. And then... Let's see here. For the 4th slot... Do I need anything? I guess Hydro would be nice because of the Crocodile, and I can put him into Rage mode very quickly. It's only in the second half. It will make the Kankis easier. Focus on chambers 2 and 3 first. Tinari would be good. Oh yeah, Tinari on the first half would be great actually, because he takes care of your Dendro and Archer requirement. Trying to think. I kind of want to slip Yelan in here. Oh wait, no, I need a healer. What am I doing? I need a healer for this half. Maybe Kokomi? Yeah, I think I'm going to go Kokomi. I'm going to cheat. Sorry, guys. We're going to do Kokomi and Raiden. Where are you, Fischl? There you are. All right, let's see how this works. I don't think the first half has enough AoE damage, but we'll see. I also tried to aggravate first half, and it did not work well. Okay, well that's not promising. We'll see how that goes. All right, so we start with these 3. Ooh. Oh, these 4 actually. Okay, where did that guy come from? Luckily, they're not too difficult to group. As long as you group around the Ruin Destroyer, like it should be okay, I think. Yeah, it looks like we can take care of these guys in one rotation, thanks to Raiden's insane damage. Okay, and then we got the Consecrated Beasts. Alright, let's pick up some Primo Gems here. We got 2 Primo Gems thanks to these guys. I'm assuming these guys work just like the other Consecrated Beasts. Yeah, we've got the... When they summon the energy blocks, you need to pop them with their corresponding element. So this guy's Dendro, this guy's Hydro. They look like they're both melee, which is good. Hopefully they won't be too hard. Hopefully it won't be too hard to group them. So let's see how this goes.
心を影の辛さ
Ouch.
無我の境地鎖を
Oh my gosh, I'm nowhere near my jellyfish. That's not good. Okay. Okay, I take back what I said about grouping them, because apparently they run around a lot.
逃げ道
Oh my goodness. And I think knockback resist is gonna go a long way here. I am getting bodied by these guys.
すなわち永遠なり
If we can fight near the wall, hopefully it'll be a little bit easier to group them. But wow, yeah, they are tanky. My Raiden is just not doing any damage to them.
メバイオンはびこれ海のちぎりよ黒き翼よ愚か無我の境地
Okay, we got one of them, but this guy's still... Okay, this guy's stunned too, though. Alright, so we got 830, which is good. Hopefully the second half isn't too much harder. Yeah, 2 Primo Gems. I'm rich now. They have melee and range moves. Okay. Yeah, so I'm going to have to figure out how to group them effectively for the guide video. Alright, we got these guys.
私のお家にいらっしゃい
Oh no, I missed his skill. Oh no. That feels bad.
安全距離確認無双の風シミュレーター6308式ユニット
That's actually so bad because that means I'm not going to be able to get Xingqiu's burst up for the second rotation. And then I won't have any hyper booms, which is really bad.
吸引テスト開始
But we'll see how this goes. Okay, so that's only the first wave. And then...
手をつなぎましょう
Wow, this is really 3 waves,
あ
huh?
なたにも
Okay, that's pretty tough, actually.
左右ルコ
So you gotta be fast here.
しっかり立ってな
I think Venti is gonna go a long way here. If you have Venti, this is definitely the chamber to use him. Because we've got 3 waves of light enemies, so it's definitely a good time to use Venti.
全部丸見えね私のお家にいらっしゃい
Okay, I gotta be careful here, because if one of them revives, then we're in trouble. Oh no, we're in trouble. Get him, Nahida. No! Okay, yeah, we're not gonna 3-star this. Okay. Oh, that was close. And then the third wave. Oh, wait a minute. There's 2 more consecrated beasts at the end of this? Holy cow. Okay, yeah, that's tough. That is tough. Oh my goodness. That's actually insane.
無双の風シミュレーター
Yeah, I'm not gonna retry this because I'm gonna come back for 12-1 anyway. So we're gonna take the L here and then just focus on trying to clear 12-3 now. Oh, but oh my goodness. Can't believe that third wave is a consecrated beast. That is insane.
しっかり立ってな安全距離確認7号式モジュール痛くしちゃうかも
We need to shred these guys'
精神と共にある
res a little bit faster.
全部丸見えね左右ルコ役払いやっ
Let's see, normal charge attack. I'll go for HP. Alright, I think this is the Ion Blight Drake, right?
見
Yeah.
切りましたはっソーランの憩い
Hit one, hit the other one. Alright.
さ影の辛さ稲光すなわち永遠なりふっはっやっはっせっふっやっふっ逃げ道はあります
The damage is not that good. I am not on track to clear this very quickly.
黒き翼よ来年
Oh my gosh.
やんなしま
Thought I could ult right after switching to her, but that did not work out.
裁きのいかずはびこれ姿をご助力を
Oh, I missed. Oh no. Oh no, oh no, this is a disaster.
逃げ道はありはっメバイオはっソーランの遺骨ここより弱滅の時ふんてったっ見切りましたはびこれ
Alright, Fischl's almost dead, so I gotta watch out for her.
やっ深海の加護はっ
お嬢様のお
ご助力をさはっ信頼感度無我の境地逃げ道はありますはびこれ
Okay, and he should go up again, I think, right? Yeah, okay.
は断罪のなはソーランの憩い
Yeah, this time is not good though. I think for Aeon Blight, you want to be going for like just under 9 minutes. Like a 3 to 4 rotation clear, I think. So I think the latest you want to clear him at is like 8:35, 8:40 maybe. So I'm taking way too long on this. I think I'm probably going to be better off with some kind of national team here, I think. I think Raiden Aggravated is just not strong enough for single target damage.
逃げ道はあり
Just make sure we have enough energy going into chamber 3. The weak point was on the chest that time. Yeah, I guess it's because he used his the missile launcher attack, so then I aimed for the wrong weak spot there. Alright. And then second half, this was like a group of enemies, right? Let's see what we got. Oh, the Hillies, okay. We got 3 Hydro Hillies. Oh my gosh. Are these staggerable? Looks like they can be staggered but not vacuumed. Okay. Or my vacuum range just isn't long enough, maybe? Oh, that was close. Oh, that was close again. Huh, there must be a way to group these guys. So we gotta figure that out too. Alright, and then second half, we've got a bunch of Eremites, and we've got 2 summoners. Okay, so this is gonna be tough. We have to get the animals again. Or we have to kill the animals first, and then... Oh, did Kuki die? Oh no, she did. Oh no, she didn't. Okay, now she did. Oh, okay. I shouldn't have tried to swap to her to find out. Alright, let's see. What did we learn? So we need more single target damage on the first half. But we need it to be a quicken team because we have Azimon on the 3rd chamber. So that has to be Hyper Bloom. That has to be Hyper Bloom on the first half then. And then... Yeah, I think I want to bring Venti on the second half. I think Venti will help a lot here. Venti or Kazuha, I guess. Something that can keep these first 2 waves together so that we don't spend too much time getting through those and then save most of our time for the beasts. I guess it would be Kazuha because Venti is not going to be great for the beasts either. Kuki, living dangerously is my motto. Ain't that right? And then, let me think here. In the second half, it's better to target the Anemo Eremite first. Okay, that's good to know. Thank you. Yeah, so we're going to go Hyper Bloom first half. And then... maybe Kazuha National? That would be pretty good, right? Kazuha can group them, and then National can put out the AoE damage. That sounds pretty good, actually. Sounds pretty good. Or I guess like Sunfire National. That would be kind of cool. Okay, so let's try that again. So we're gonna go just regular Nahida Hyper Bloom here. I think. Should I bring? Is it cheating if I bring Yelan and Nahida? That's kind of strong, right? Who's my healer here, though? I guess Kuki's my healer, and then I'm kind of uncomfortable with just having Kuki as my healer. Let's bring Yao Yao too to be safe, because I'm scared. Pretty much. I'm assuming you mean pretty much is the answer to cheating. Is that right? I'm sorry. And then Raiden. If I had Yelan, I could have ran Sino first half. You have to try to nudge the middle hilly trail to the one side and then hope the other one runs towards you. Okay, that's good to know. Thank you. I use Rational and Nilo Bloom. I want Kazuha here, but do I want to drop Raiden? Huh. Let's see. Just a regular national? Is that going to be enough? But then who's going to be my Hydro Applier here? That's the problem with running national, I guess. Man, they need to make more Xingqius. Most used combo is Rational first half, Nilo second half. Whoa, that's really interesting. I guess Nilo makes sense, because her AoE damage is actually insane. I'm assuming it's Nilo with Nahida, right? I use Raiden Overload for the second half, Hyper Bloom first half. Rational is fine on the second half. I see, okay. Then, let's see here. Let's give Xingqiu to the first half, so that we don't have to cheat and use Yelan. And then let's bring an archer here. Let's do Fischl, I guess, for the Aeon Blight Drake. And then let's do some kind of Raiden team on the second half. So then Raiden. So then this would be Overload. Like I could do like Kazuha, and then this would become like an Overload, pretty powerful Overload Raiden team. Let's try this. The other option here would be to go reverse melt Rosaria on the second half, so that we don't have to use 2 5-stars. I'm a little reluctant to go Overload because there's so many light enemies on the second half of Chamber 1. But it'll be good for the other 2 chambers, so especially against the Mago Kenki trio. Nilo or Ayaka second half. Try using only females. Alright, so first team already satisfies that criteria. So then second team, we just have to replace Bennett and Kazuha. Maybe reverse melt second half. Yeah, I was thinking that too. Reverse melt Rosaria. Replace Raiden with Rosaria. I think you would have a good amount of damage there. Alright. Is Kuki enough healing first half? Yeah, I asked this last time too, and a lot of people said Kuki Xingqiu is enough for survival usually. But we will... Oh my god. Accidentally ulted. Oh. So we'll see. Okay, so we got it in one rotation. That's always good. Always a good sign. 12-2 kind of not good with Overload. Okay, that's good to know. Let's see how that goes. Yeah, Xingqiu's damage reduction doing work here as usual. They're actually surprisingly difficult to group. I thought they would... Oh my gosh, that was close.
痛くしちゃうかも。姿を見せよ。
雨描きがたし
めまいが。やせほ。渚のリン。
Okay, I think time was a little bit better this time, but not too much better. I need to work on grouping those consecrated beasts, because we can't afford to let them get that spread out. I barely survived with the same combo, that's why I asked. Like, you barely survived with just those two, but it works. Just try Xingqiu and Hu Tao for survival, and it took many tries. Okay, that's good to know.
見切りました
Let's see how this overload works out.
もみちは散らま
師匠の技を食らいなさい。
無我の境地
Wow, Raiden's individual damage is so high though. Jesus.
みんながそばにいて風を知れ風の歌雲の
話が通じな
I'm
い
in
から。
between the two Kairagis, that's not good.
ここより
Oh, I got them here though. Okay, this is good. This is good.
逃げ道は
Okay, this looks a little bit better.
全力攻撃だ
I have about 2 rotations to clear these guys out. Let's see how it
技を
goes.
食らいなさい。
Oh my goodness.
稲光すなわち永遠なりや
Okay, that's 1 rotation.
裁きの雷みんながそばにいてくれるわ
And they're below half, so in theory we should be able to get this.
料理の時間だ。
Oh, but Xiangling's not charged up.
話が通じないな
Okay,
ら。
we got one of them.
無我
I
の
think we
境
should
地
be able to get it here.
や
Yeah, there we go. So I don't have much energy going into the second half, but Raiden was able to carry that for us. So the overload damage combined with Raiden and Xiangling's individual damage, I think, was enough there. Use your burst to kill the machines as fast as you can. Don't be afraid because you need to gather the lizards to get closer. Alright, and then first half... Okay, this is the Ion Blight Drake, right? I'm gonna heal Kuki while I can here.
覚えたわよ。
夜の源源
歌よ錦となれ渚のリン
Yeah, Hyper Moon feels way more comfortable here.
痛くしちゃうと。
Yeah, we're at half with 2 rotations, or a little over 2 rotations, or a little under 2 rotations. So I think we're on pace here.
覚えたわよ。
That's good.
この件はわかるかい
はびこりなさい。
やせ
Heal her up a little bit more.
は
Ah, shoot. Oh my god. Okay, there we go.
断罪の名。痛くしち
And
ゃう。
we are good on energy for the second chamber, so we should be good there. Is this the first clear or am I late? No, you are on time. This is my first... Well, I had to do a restart at 12:2, but this is... Yeah, this is like my first run through.
逃げ道はありません
So I'm gonna try to push this guy a little bit over. See if I can pull these two together first. Okay.
全力攻撃だ雲が借りな
And my energy is not refilled, so
裁きの
I have a late start here. I'm not planning for a 3-star clear here because I had a pretty bad... Oh, that was a really good group actually.
弱滅の時
Because I didn't come in here with full energy, so if it looks like I'm not going to be able to 3-star this, I'm just going to bail and then... Or like, I'm going to take the L and then just prepare for Chamber 3, because
料理の
we can always come back for Chamber 2 later. Ah, he's so close. Okay. And then for this one, alright, let's go over to this guy here.
燃えろみんながそばにいて前 もみち散らま
師匠の技を食らいなさい。無我の境地。はっはっ
We need to get this bird here. So we got her. Can I not push her over?
全力攻撃だくらいざ風を
Yeah,
風
these
の歌
guys are heavy.
ここより弱滅の時。
Oh, wait, hold on. Okay, we have 18 seconds left, and we're not full on energy, so I'm gonna hold on for a bit.
風よ
裁きの雷。熱々でしょ。
燃えろ
Alright, we got a 700 clear. Whew, we're not quite full on energy, but I feel like it's enough. I got a little bit of energy on Xiangling. Raiden should recharge really quickly, so as long as Bennett and Kazuha are full, I think I'm comfortable. Because Bennett and Kazuha are both using Fav, so they will charge Xiangling up really quickly in the first rotation. Alright, and now we have Azimon. Azimon's not too bad if you've already fought him before, but the key here is just making sure that you quicken him to break him out of his invisibility quickly, and then using Deepwood to track him during his invisibility. The Deepwood applies a debuff on him, which follows him around, and that's what we're going to use to figure out where he is. Alright.
歌よ錦役払い。姿。
Alright, he's going to go invisible, and we are going to follow him towards the wall. There he is. Okay, that breaks the invisibility.
知識はあなたにも。しっかり立ってな。夜の権限。雨描きがたし。股間奥義。
And when he wakes up, we want to make sure our back is facing the wall, or we're between him and the wall, because he likes to move forward when he... Oh shoot, he likes to move forward when he goes invisible, so we want to kind of move him towards the wall as much as possible, and then that will limit the range that he has to... There we go. Yeah, so he's like really close to the wall now, so on the next time he goes invisible, he'll be kind of stuck between me and the wall. So even if he tries to travel forward, he won't get too far. And that's what we're aiming for here. Okay, 848, that's pretty good. Anything around like 840 or 850 is really good for Azimon, so that's what you're aiming for typically. I think this is the easiest chamber because it has familiar bosses. Yeah, I agree. The fact that we don't have any new mechanics on the third chamber is a huge boon for us. So I think we've made it past the hardest part here. Can you iframe the wall attack with elemental burst? That's a good question. I actually don't know. I don't know what I don't know if you like get pushed back as you're doing the burst animation or if it just phases through you. I'm gonna have to find out. 3 Kenki, time for the most fun of the game. Yeah, I know, right? Luckily, Raiden Overload does really well against these guys. It just has so much AoE damage, so I'm not too worried. But yeah, Kenki Trio can definitely be a nightmare. We're gonna run left as soon as... Oh wait, he's not using that move. Okay. And then we're gonna focus the white one because he's the one that's the hardest one to group typically, or he's the one that like won't follow you. I'm gonna hold Raiden's burst for a little bit so that I can use it to iframe the explosion attack. Oh, Raiden almost died. That was close. Yeah, and the AoE damage that you get from these overloads is just absurd. It's so much AoE damage. The green one's getting a little far from us. I think I'm gonna switch focus here. Oh, he keeps getting farther. Keeps getting farther from the white one. So that's really unfortunate. I'm gonna hold Xiangling's burst until Bennett's burst comes back up because I want to make sure I get that snapshot. And yeah, we're just gonna take them down one at a time now because they split up and it's really hard to get them back together after they split up. But luckily our time on the first half was good enough that it wasn't a
裁きの雷
it wasn't a big deal that they got split up, and we got enough AoE damage in during that first rotation. Who is triggering the overloads? Good question. Let's see here. So Xiangling has no ICD, so she's going to be applying Pyro really, really quickly. So then the overloads will likely be going to... Let me think here, hold on. It's gonna be a mix between... It's close actually. It's gonna be a mix between all three because... So if Kazuha absorbs Pyro, which is typically the case because you go Bennett Burst into Kazuha Burst, he's gonna absorb Pyro. And then Xiangling's Burst also has no ICD, which means that you're gonna have a lot of Pyro application, so then Raiden will ultimately be the one triggering the overloads. On the other hand, if you use Raiden skill directly into Kazuha Burst, then you get a Electro-infused Kazuha Burst. So then you still have a good amount of Pyro application thanks to Xiangling, but then is it enough to persist an aura? I think it is. So then Xiangling most likely provides the Pyro aura, and then no, I'm probably wrong actually, because Kazuha's Burst also has no ICD. So then Kazuha's Burst combined with Raiden's skill probably provides an Electro aura, and then Xiangling will most likely trigger the overloads, is my guess. I think that's what will happen. Alright. For some reason, the Cryo Kinky always does the dashing attack first this time. It's really boring. Who is triggering the overloads? Raiden overload is the reason I have 2 engulfing lightnings. That was smooth, 36 star. Congrats, Azumon, Ion Blight Drake. Easiest fight on floor 12, yeah. Fighting 3 Kenki with Taser was risky but fun. Azimov makes me miss Weenut almost. Azimov isn't that bad, is it? I feel like Azimov is definitely easier than Weenut. He was a special one. Wow. He took me a long time to crack. 12-1 is damn hard to 3-star clear, but easier to clear in 2 stars. Alright, let's pick up those stars. Yeah, we cleared 12-1 surprisingly quickly, actually. I thought I would be stuck on 12-1 for a lot longer because those Consecrated Beasts on that second half were just a complete curveball for me. But yeah, Raiden Overload AoE damage is just so strong, I guess. And then, yeah, the first half also requires a lot of AoE damage. So yeah, like everybody was saying, AoE is definitely the key here. You need strong AoE first half, strong AoE second half. So then characters like Nahida, Kazuha, Raiden, Xiangling, Rosaria. I feel like Freeze would be pretty good on either half, actually. Assuming you can like keep them together. I think, well, it was a little hard for me to get these two together, the blue and the green ones. I feel like the Scorpion's a little bit easier to get together because he's like almost all melee. So then as long as you chase the green one around, the Scorpion will probably approach you, I think. And then maybe you could freeze them together. But they also have increased freeze resistance, which means that their frozen debuff doesn't last as long on them. So there is that downside too. Alright. I don't mind the Weena as much as the first 2 chambers on this one. Wow. How can you do it with Sucrose instead of Kazuha? Or can you do it with Sucrose instead of Kazuha? Ooh, I actually don't know. I can try, but yeah, Kazuha pulls a lot of weight there too, because he also deals a ton of AoE damage with his burst. There should be more bosses that require mechanics and game knowledge instead of only DPS check. Yeah, I totally agree with that. Don't forget shields and interrupt resists for the first chamber. Alright, I'm gonna crack some artifacts open. Oh, is there a new artifact set? Feast of Boundless Joy. Voru Kasha's Glow. 20% HP, elements of skill and burst damage will be increased by 10%. After the equipping character takes damage, the aforementioned damage bonus is increased by 80% for 5 seconds. So then it becomes 18%. Okay. This effect increase can have 5 stacks. The duration of each stack is counted independently. So then that means you can get up to 8 times 5, so 40. Okay, so it goes up to 50% damage. Wow. Wow, that's a lot actually. But only if the equipping character takes damage. Okay. Okay, so this is obviously like a Dehya set. Yeah, because of the HP sub and then, yeah, damage. Increased damage when you take damage. Yeah, that sounds like Dehya. Oh wait, I forgot to preview all of them. Shoot. let me look at them. Or let's see. I want to keep the not max, I think. Not max level. HP crit, attack, goblets, probably not. Attack circlet, and attack circlet. Okay, probably not any of those. 2 pieces good for Nilo. Best patch for child mains. Saving my artifact boxes in case we get a new type of stat in Fontaine. Oh, a new stat. That would be interesting, huh? I bet this chamber will be much easier on later rotations when we're more experienced with it, and it'll be super fun like the last Consecrated Beast chamber. It's a very niche set, but the 2-piece makes it BIS for Nilo, pairing it with 2-piece Tom. Oh, I see. Oh, I guess that's true, because there's no other set that gives HP, huh? So then this ends up becoming a alternative, or it becomes an option to go 2-piece HP now. All right, I kind of wanted to crack open, or not crack open, but one thing that I've been kind of preparing for is artifact like filtering. So I farmed a bunch of artifacts in the time that I was gone, and I kind of wanted to share the process that I use for filtering out my artifacts and deciding which ones to keep, which ones to get rid of, and which ones to level up. I'm not sure if you guys would be interested in that. And I know there's like stream lag, so I'm gonna wait like 20 seconds for a response. What are your criteria for estimating value of artifacts? I typically, it depends on who I'm farming for, or who the set is going to go on, and what the piece is. But in general, for flowers and feathers, I'm looking for double crit on all of them. So if it's not double crit, I usually just trash the flowers and feathers. And then for sands, I'm usually looking for an ER or an attack main stat. Typically, ER is super valuable for me. So ER sands are like almost always a lock as long as the substats aren't garbage. And then like attack with double crit is obviously very, very valuable. For goblets, I'm looking for damage percent, obviously. And then for helms, I'm looking for crit rate or crit damage, and then the other crit stat. So I'm looking for both crit stats on it, basically. So either a crit rate helm with a crit damage sub, or a crit damage sub or a crit rate helm. Okay. How did you get so many artifacts? Well, I just farm artifact domains for like 4 weeks, I think. That's what I've been doing while I haven't been making videos. All right, so I farmed a bunch of Paradise Lost and Pavilion, or Desert Chronicle, because I wanted to get a good set on, God, what's its face? Wanderer. Okay, so let's see here. I'm gonna go not locked, not max level. Okay, and then all right, so let's go through this. I'm actually let's filter to Desert Pavilion first. So I'm only gonna look at these, and I'm gonna go through every single one that says new, because those are the ones that I haven't looked at yet. Those are like the new ones that I farmed just now. I'm gonna click on every single one that says new, and then I'm gonna evaluate whether I'm gonna keep it or not keep it. And if I keep it, then that means I'm gonna lock it. And like I said, for flowers, starting with flowers, the criteria I'm looking for is it's double crit stats. If it doesn't have double crit, I'm not gonna keep it. That's typically the rule. If it has like 4 like super good substats, like crit, attack, ER, EM, for example, then I might keep it, but even that's kind of like iffy. So double crit is really what I'm looking for here. We've got def, attack, ER, HP, EM, def, attack. And keep in mind, I also haven't seen these artifacts. So this is like my first pass through this too. So I deliberately saved all of these artifacts and didn't filter them so that I could kind of do this in this video. Let's see here. Crit ER. Wanderer really needs C6 Faruzan to work. I got a decent Pavilion set and he doesn't feel that great. I use him with C2 Faruzan, so I think C2 is kind of the breaking point. Without C2, he is a little bit harder, I would say. But with C2 Faruzan, he's definitely usable. C6 Faruzan definitely kind of makes him a high value carry, but I think he is viable even before that. Okay, and then this takes me to the next thing that I want to talk about, and this is dealing with 3-line artifacts. So then when you have an artifact, like I said, if you have double crit, then those are the ones that I keep. But for a 3-line artifact, we don't know if this is going to be double crit because the 4th line isn't revealed yet. So then I always reveal the 4th line if the starting 3 lines meet like half of the criteria that I'm looking for. And to do this, I always have on hand a +4 or like +5-ish artifact in my inventory that I don't throw away on purpose. So then this is kind of like this is my seed or like cedar artifact basically. And the reason I keep it at +4 or +5 is because a +4 artifact, when fed to a +0 artifact, will always level up the +0 artifact to +4 at least. So then a +4 artifact always carries enough experience with it that is enough to turn another artifact into a +4 artifact. So then you can basically chain feed these +4 artifacts, and you'll see what I mean here. So I'm going to use this one to turn this to +4 and reveal the 4th line. Okay, in this case, it rolled crit damage. So we have the double crit criteria satisfied. So I am going to lock this one. But if I hadn't locked it, if the 4th line hadn't been crit, then I would keep it unlocked, and I would use this one as fodder for the next 3-liner that I want to upgrade to a +4. So let's keep going. Here's another 3-liner with crit damage. So I'm going to reveal the 4th line here again. And this time I don't think I have a +4 available. So I'm just going to have to start fresh. So I'm just going to have to use regular fodder artifacts. And I'm not going to feed all of these. I just want enough to, okay. And we got flat attack. Okay, so here's an example where we upgraded to +4. We revealed the 4th line, but it didn't meet our criteria for keeping it. So I'm going to keep it unlocked. And this +4 artifact will become fodder for my next 3-liner that I want to upgrade to +4. Because like I said, a +4 artifact always has enough experience to +4 another artifact. Let's see here. We got another crit rate one. So let's use that +4 that I just used to reveal the 4th line here again. We got defense, so we're not going to keep this one. Keep it unlocked for the next one. This has attack def. This has attack crit damage. So let's reveal this. So you see what I'm doing here. I'm basically just chain feeding the same +4 over and over and over to reveal the 4th line of every subsequent artifact. This one rolled HP, so we don't want it. This one has ER and crit rate, so let's reveal this one. And this way I don't end up using too much fodder artifacts. I basically chain feed it so that I can save like the big fodder for like when I want to actually +20 something. This one has crit rate ER, so let's reveal this. We got def, we're not going to keep that. Let's see, off question. Wouldn't it be better to sort them in the strong box and just add whichever ones you don't want to get another set you want? Yeah, I'm gonna get to that later after I do kind of all of this filtering. Off question, are you gonna try Honkai Star Rail when it launches? I know it's Genshin-like, but I'm pretty curious about what the game will be. Probably not. I barely have time to play Genshin right now, so I probably won't be trying out a different game on top of this for now. But let's move on here. No crit, no crit. Okay, so then, did we end up with any good flowers here? Let me, I think we only got one good one, right? Let me see. So we ended up, yeah, we only got this one actually. So out of all of those flowers, only one of them ended up with double crit. So that's a little unfortunate. We had about 20 flowers, I think, but we only got one of them. So let's try taking this one to plus 20. It's got an attack substat, which is not bad. But let's see. Wait, hold on. Oh, actually, this one went to plus 9. And the second roll actually went into HP. So it's already off to a bad start. So we have 3 upgrades left on it if we make it to plus 20. And even if all 3 of these upgrades go into crit, then we're only looking at, what is that, 5 total lines of crit. So then like 35 CV tops, which isn't great actually. So I might upgrade it once to see if it goes into crit. But if this one does not go in, if the plus 12 doesn't go into crit, then I'm just going to abandon this one because there just aren't enough rolls left for this to be a high value flower basically. And it went in, okay, it went into crit rate. Huh. Okay, I guess we can keep going. If the other 2 go into crit, then it might be worth keeping. It's a little hopium at this point. It's pretty ambiguous here because we ended up with we started with a low roll crit damage, like somebody pointed out. Let's see what this lands us. And this went into attack. Okay, I'm not going to keep this. So we got 2 rolls of crit rate, 1 roll of crit damage, and we have 1 upgrade left. So the most it can get is 4 lines of crit, or 4 rolls of crit, which is not that great in my opinion. So I'm going to hold on. I'm going to unlock this. I'm going to use this as fodder for the next thing that I want to plus 20. So now let's move on to our feathers. We have ER crit, and for feathers I'm looking for the same thing. I'm looking for double crit stats. ER crit, attack EM. We have crit damage, crit rate, or crit damage ER, so let's reveal the 4th line again. And we're going to use this plus 4 again. We're just chain feeding this plus 4. We're going to save our fodder for other things. Okay, we got crit rate, so that's nice. We're going to keep this one. So we're going to lock this for a potential upgrade. And then I think, is that the only one actually? Okay, that's unfortunate. So again, we just have 1 feather that made it past our filter, which is this one here. Oh, actually, we have a second locked feather. Okay, so we have another locked feather. It's a 3-liner that already started with 3-line double crit. So we have 2 potential upgrades. So I'm going to start with this one first, see how high we can get it. And recall that we had that kind of failed flower that we tried to upgrade earlier. So instead of using my fodder, I'm going to use this one first. I'm going to expend this non-desirable plus 16 so that I don't have to burn into my fodder pool too much. So let's use this one first. See what we get. We got everything but crit here. We got 1 roll of flat HP and 1 roll of, actually no. Wait, how many upgrades did I just get? I went from plus 4 to plus, okay, yeah, it is 2 upgrades. So then I got 1 roll of flat HP, 1 roll of ER. I have 2 upgrades left, so 16 and 20. So again, even if both of them go to crit, that means this only has a maximum of 4 crit substat rolls, which is, again, not great. So this is also a bust. We are not going to keep this one. This will become fodder for the next thing that I try to upgrade, and that's this feather here. So this feather started with 2 crit substats, so we're going to try feeding that plus 15 that just failed into this. And again, I'm using the fodder that I know that I already know that I don't want, so that I don't have to kind of dig into all these 4 stars that I've accumulated over time, because those are going to come in handy when I need to 0 to 20 an artifact. All right, let's see how we go. And we got, we got 1 crit rate and then 2 attack. 2 attack is not bad. So if we go 16-20, we have 2 upgrades left, and we have 3 crit rolls so far. So if the other 2 rolls go into crit, then that's actually not too bad. That means we have 5 crit rolls and 2 attack rolls already. So if the other 2 go into crit, I think I'm happy with this one. So let's try taking this to plus 16. If it goes into def, I'm going to trash it. But if it goes into one of the crit stats, then I'm going to take it all the way. And it went into attack. Okay, so I'm not going to keep this. This is too heavily weighted on attack percent. Attack percent can be gained from a lot of different sources. Like Bennett gives a huge attack buff. TTSD gives attack percent. So then overloading on attack or over-indexing on attack percent is just not a very efficient use of substats. Up to a certain, you do want some attack percent stats. You don't want to neglect it completely, but typically on a feather or a flower, you really want those crit stats to come out. So I'm probably not going to keep this one. All right, so we walked away with no successful feathers, no successful flowers. Let's go to sands. And for sands, I'm first of all looking for a desirable primary stat. So that means attack percent typically for Wanderer. And then ideally, or at least 1 desirable substat. So in other words, at least 1 crit substat, and ideally 2 crit substats. But trying to go for the attack main stat and both crit substats is really, really rare. So usually I'm happy with just one of them. But let's see what we end up with here. We have def, we have EM, def, HP. We have attack with 1 crit substat. Okay, so this is pretty good. I'm going to lock this for now. The reason I'm not going to reveal the 4th line is because I'm probably going to keep this even if the 4th line isn't that good, just because it has a desirable main stat and it has crit, which is a desirable substat. So just having those 2 desirable stats is enough for me to keep it. We have def, we have HP, def, and EM. Okay, so let's review what sands we have. Oh, we have a lot of lock sands actually. This is interesting. So, oh, this is the ER though, I see. We have HP double crit. We have ER with crit. This is good, but we're probably not going to use this on Wanderer, which is why I locked it. Okay, and this is the one that we just locked. When is an attack percent hat with great substats better than a crit percent hat? That's always confused me. I will say almost never. The crit main stat, or the amount of damage you get from a crit main stat, and assuming you have the crit, well, let me think. I guess if you have attack double crit, it can be better than having crit main stat with no crit substat. So then if you only have basically only the crit main stat and nothing else, then the attack double crit is probably going to be better. But outside of that scenario, like even if you have just a little bit of crit or a little bit of attack on that crit main stat hat, the crit main stat is always going to be better. And we have def double crit, EM crit, Geo. Oh, this is Goblet. Okay, so yeah, we only have 1 desirable sands here, which is this attack percent with crit rate. So let's see what we can get out of this. And where's the feather that I just failed? Here's the 16 feather. So let's see what this gets me. All right, we got 1 roll into def, a flat def at that, and 2 rolls into flat HP. So this is obviously a bust. This is basically not usable, because even if with the 2 upgrades that are left, we can get this up to about 10% crit rate, which is not bad actually. Attack with 10% crit, but the other substats are just so bad. Like I don't think so. I don't think I'm gonna keep this one. The copium is starting to come out, but I don't think I'm gonna keep this one. So yeah, we're gonna unlock this. This is gonna become fodder. And let's go to the goblets now. Goblets are really tricky because for the goblet you want the damage percent type that matches the type of, or you want the damage percent element to match your character's element. So then you're not only looking for a damage percent goblet, but in the case of Wanderer, you're looking for an animo damage percent goblet, which makes it really rare. So then for most characters, the offset or the piece that doesn't match the rest of your sets is going to be the goblet, just because that one is the rarest one to get typically. If you're looking for an EM build or EM like focus character, Well, actually, that's true for EM too, now that I think about it. I was going to say it may be different for an EM build, but now that I think about it, EM is actually the rarest stat on goblets as well. So then, regardless of whether you're building a damage percent goblet or an EM goblet, most of the time, the goblet piece is going to be the one that you're taking from another set, just because it's so rare to find the damage percent stat that you're looking for in the set that you're looking for. All right, so let's see if we have any Anemo damage goblets here, and even if the substats are bad, I will probably be happy just because they're so rare. But if the substats are bad, then I'm just gonna look towards a different set. Okay, yeah, so there's none of them. So none of these what is this, 6, 11 goblets have Anemo percent. So yeah, none of these goblets are upgradable. But on that note, like I mentioned, since I might be using one of these goblets for a different character that wants an offset goblet, I'm going to look for other damage percents or other sources of damage percent, even if it's not Anemo, so that I may save them for a different character. This one has cryo damage with crit rate, so I'm probably going to keep this. I'll lock this for now. And then this one has dendro damage with EREM. Actually, that's not bad, but no, you want crit if you go dendro damage. Okay. Def, attack, pyro damage with crit damage. I might keep this one, try upgrading it later. So I'm saving these not for Wanderer, obviously, but in case there's another character that wants these kind of damage percent goblets in an offset. HP, attack. Okay, so we just saved these cryo damage and pyro damage goblets. We're not going to upgrade them now because Wanderer doesn't need them, but they might come in handy later for a different character. All right. So let's look at circlets for, oh, whoa, this one's good. For circlets, you're looking for crit main stat and ideally a crit substat. So that's usually what I'm looking for. Ideally, I want to go for crit rate main stat and crit damage substat, just because crit rate tends to be the harder one to get, just because most characters start with lower crit rate. But if you have a crit weapon, then you can kind of, you can end up like balancing it out, and then depending on the substats that you get on your other pieces, you might be able to get away with a crit damage helm also. So this one here is pretty good. This one is crit damage main stat and crit rate substat, so I'm going to keep this. This one is def. This one's HP. This one is crit rate. It's 3 lines. It doesn't have the 4th line revealed, so I'm going to reveal this to see if it rolls crit damage. And again, we're going to use that 4-star fodder that we've been... Oh, whoops. Oh, I didn't know you could drag. Oh, but you can't drag to unselect? Oh, you can. Okay, sweet. Oh, never mind. We don't have any 4-star fodder. Or we don't have the +4 fodder anymore because we upgraded it. So let's start from scratch again. And we got EM, so this is not useful for Wanderer. I'm going to keep it unlocked and use that as fodder for the next upgrade. And we have attack. So let's look at what we have here. Look at our locked artifacts. And we have just one circlet. So it's this crit damage circlet that I just got, or that I just locked with the crit rate substat. The other substats are not desirable. They're all flat stats. So this is a tough one to roll because you're really looking for all the rolls to go into crit rate. So if I can get 3 rolls into crit rate, I'll probably keep it. Or is that too greedy? Should I aim for 2 crit rate? Because at the rate that I've been going, I'm gonna walk away with 0 artifacts for this session. All right, let's say if it, no, I'm gonna stick with 3. I want 3 crit rates rolls. So if it rolls into crit rate 3 times, I'll keep it. Any less than that, I'm gonna toss it. So I think it was this one. Yeah, this was the attack sands. All right, let's see how this goes. And we got 3 rolls of flat HP. That means we only have 2 rolls. Wait, 16, 20. Okay, yeah, we only have 2 rolls left to go into crit rate. So the most we can get out of this is 9% crit or like 10% crit. So I am not going to keep this one. So the conclusion is that we walked away with 0 usable artifacts out of the, I don't know, how many did we go through? We probably looked at like 12 times 5, like maybe 60 artifacts. 0 artifacts after 4 weeks of grinding equals relatable streamer. Thank you. Yeah, at least I'm relatable, right? At least I'm relatable. Yeah, so we walked away with no usable upgrades, which is unfortunate. But now comes the fun part. So what we're going to do with all of the artifacts that we didn't lock is we're going to take them to the artifact strongbox and recycle them into a different set that can be useful to us. So, and this is where it gets really fun, because if you don't know already, the strongbox has a higher chance of producing 4 substat artifacts. So when you farm an artifact from a domain, it has a 20% chance of being a 4-line artifact and an 80% chance of being a 3-line artifact. But if you get an artifact from a strongbox or from a trounce domain, or like a world boss or like a weekly boss, then it has a 33% chance of being a 4-line artifact and a 66% chance of being a 3-line artifact. So then the chance goes up from 20% to 33% if you strongbox. So then a lot of your good 4-liners are actually going to come out of these strongbox, which is why it's really, really important to recycle your unused artifacts. You typically don't want to use 5-star artifacts for fodder, because the chance of getting a good 4-liner from your strongbox is so much more valuable than just upgrading a or using it for fodder to upgrade a different artifact. So always, always, always use the strongbox for your unused 5 stars. So, all right. Why isn't there Millith on the strongbox? Let me see here. I believe, it's because I think they stated that they wanted all of the artifact domains that came out in before 1.1 or something, I think. Or it was up to like a certain version. So then, like, the Blizzard Strayer domain was the last domain that kind of made the cutoff, and then every artifact domain that came after that did not make the cutoff. So, yeah, and the Pale Flame Millith domain came out much later, I think, in like 1.4, I think. So that's why that's not included in the strongbox, unfortunately. So, let me see. Yeah, so then it's going to be a while until Emblem is in the strongbox. But when that day happens, it'll be a really good day for a lot of people, because Emblem is obviously a ubiquitous set. I kind of wanted to go Thundering Fury here, because on the last stream I talked about how I wanted to use Aggravate Kaching, but then I didn't have good Thundering Fury pieces. So I think I'm going to use my strongbox fodder for Thundering Fury and see if I can get a couple of good pieces for Kaching, unless somebody feels strongly otherwise and wants me to use it for something else. Wow, the stream delay is really long. It's actually like it's almost like 30 seconds, I think. All right. Who even uses Pale Flame, though? Our favorite Mondstadt character, Eula, uses Pale Flame, by the way. Or should we? Let me see here. Is there something else we could use it for? Okay, TF go. All right, we're going to go TF. All right, let's go TF. So, the nice thing about this, after they added in like 3.5 or 3.4, I think, is that you don't have to click on each artifact individually. You can just drag or you can just click on the first one and then just drag all the way down. And that's a huge quality of life improvement, because it was really annoying to have to click 39 artifacts over and over. So, yeah, you can do 39 at a time. It takes 3 artifacts to create 1. So I'm going to turn 39 of these into 13 new artifacts, and hopefully we will get some good ones. Okay. And we're not going to look through them yet. So I'm basically going to convert all of them first. And oh wait, I didn't go through the Paradise Lost ones. I just realized. Okay, let's just go with let's just recycle the Desert Chronicle ones, because we didn't get a chance to filter through the Paradise Lost pieces. And then we will look at the TF pieces that we get from this. All right, so we got, what was that, 16 pieces. So I'm gonna follow the exact same process. Kaching, Aggravate Kaching wants double crit on the flower and a feather, obviously, again. And then for Sans, I believe she wants EM, I want to say. It's either attack or EM. I think both of them are okay, but she leans a little bit more towards attack. And then for the other two, Goblet and Circlet, you still want the electro damage and the crit. So those are the ones that I'm looking for. Where is TF even? Okay, there it is. Alright, here we go. We have Flower, no crit, no crit. We have Feather, we have one crit line, but no other crit substats, no crit, no crit. We have ER, ER, attack with ER? Should I roll this for a crit? I feel like that's not worth it. We have EM, maybe roll this for a crit? We have Def. We have an Anemo damage God with no crit, attack, cryo damage with crit. This can come in handy, so I'm going to hold on to this. And then we have Def for the Circlet, attack Circlet, and crit damage, crit rate Circlet. Okay, we finally got one. So we got a useful piece here because we have crit damage main stat and crit rate substat. One issue with this, though, is that Keqing's Ascension stat is crit damage, which means that she already has way more crit damage than she has crit rate. So you really need a crit rate Circlet for Keqing. I'm going to keep it anyway because there are other like electro damage dealers who can use a crit damage Circlet, but I'm probably not going to use this for Keqing. Organic Olive Oil said attack percent is better, but if the substats are superior, EM is good too. Okay, that's good to know. Thank you. So I'm looking for an EM Sans, but if I come across a really good, I'm looking for an attack Sans, but if I come across a really good EM Sans, then I'll keep those. Yeah, and I don't think I got any other good pieces. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these and I'm going to feed them through the Strongbox again. Thundering Fury. And I'm going to take the Desert Chronicle pieces that are left over and then the other Thundering Fury pieces that I did not lock. How many is that? 14, 15. Okay. And that gets me 5 new pieces. And let's look at those now. Hopium Circlet. Yeah. I know, right? I was actually really hoping that I would walk away with at least like 1 or 2 like nice artifacts, but this session is not a good one. Okay, we got a flower with 1 line of crit rate, so let's reveal the 4th line, see if we can get double crit here. We're going to use the +4 that we saved from earlier again. And we got HP, nice. And then we have no crit, no crit. We have crit damage EM, this is nice. So if this can roll a 2nd line of crit, then this can be pretty promising. And we got flat def, nice. And we have ER with crit damage and def with crit rate. Okay, so that's also useless. And we're going to do 1 final round of strongboxing. Let's see here. Can I only really make 1? I guess so, because, yeah, okay, I can only make 1. Let's see what 1 piece we get. Maybe this will be the one. Def Sans, nice. Alright. And that is, now we've filtered out, or we filtered through all of the Desert Chronicle pieces that I farmed for the last 4 weeks. So we just went through about just shy of 200 artifacts and we walked away with nothing. So that's the average endgame Genshin Impact experience for you there. From Keqing main, the difference between attack and EM Sans is negligible unless using Gilded Dreams, then attack is about 3% better. Oh, okay, that's good to know. Thank you, Tyler Taicho. And yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to repeat this process for like Lost Paradise, and what Lost Paradise is a little bit different because you're not really looking for crit stats for characters that use Lost Paradise, because, or sorry, I keep Paradise Lost. You're really only looking for EM because you typically only put these on characters that use Hyper Bloom, which are transformative reactions and don't care about, you know, attack or crit rate. So we yeah, we're only looking for EM for these pieces, and maybe some ER, and maybe some crit rate if you're like trying to proc like Fab, for example. But EM and ER are typically the only ones that you're looking for. So these pieces are actually a lot easier to farm for typically, because you're not as picky with those substats. You're not as picky with like trying to get double crit. But I will save that for a different session, or well, I'll probably do it off stream. But but yeah, I just wanted to share kind of kind of walk through the experience of how I filter my artifacts and how I go through them. I was really hoping I could at least show like one good artifact, but at least you know the process that I work through. I +4 most of the 3-liners that are promising, and then I hold on to those +4s that don't end up good. And then at the very end of all of that, I look at all the locked artifacts that I came away with, and then I try upgrading those to +16 or +20, and then I'll kind of cut them off if it looks like it's going to bad places, and then I'll just keep upgrading the ones that roll well. All right, and I think I'm gonna cut off the stream here because it's getting pretty late on my side. I only did one Abyss run. Sorry for those who missed it earlier. I ended up getting, for those who missed it, I ended up doing the clear with, what was it? It was Nahida Hyperbloom on the first half and Raiden Overload on the second half. I can show you the teams at least so that we can try to replicate them. You can try to replicate them offline if you want to. It made me feel better to see a good player has the same struggles. Yeah, the only reason I have good artifacts is because I've been playing this game for like 2.5 years. So I've just farmed a lot of artifacts over time. And as they say, a broken clock is right twice a day. So eventually you'll get the artifacts, but it does take a while. Or it can take a while. Let's see, it was this. Then I had Fischl here for my archer. And then I had Kazuha and Xiangling. Okay, yeah, so these are the teams that I used for this clear of floor 12. First half is a Hyperbloom Nahida team. Really good single target damage. Pretty good AoE damage too, thanks to Nahida. And then Fischl is just there to fill the archer slot because you need an archer to take down the Aeon Blight Drake. And then these three are really our Hyperbloom core. These three, as long as you have these three, Nahida, Xingqiu, Kuki, you can clear like almost anything in the game. And then for the second half, we're using an overloaded Raiden team. This is kind of a mix of single target and AoE damage. So then the overloads between Kazuha, Xiangling, and Raiden are really good for clearing out groups of enemies. So then they're really good for like clearing out the fungi and any fodder enemies that you need to get through quickly. And then Raiden, Bennett, Kazuha kind of form this Hyper Raiden core where you have really high single target damage as well. So then you have a good mix of AoE damage and single target damage, which is good for clearing through fodder quickly and then pulling out Raiden's burst for the boss enemies. All right. What's the current best domain to farm for new players? Still Emblem Shimenawa? Oh, that's a good question, actually. It depends on what team you're building currently, but yeah, it's either going to be the Emblem domain if you're working on your national team, or if you already kind of have a national team built, then I would say moving on to the Sumeru Deepwood domain is probably the next best one, because that one gives you Gilded and Deepwood, which are both required, or not required, but like really, really strong for Hyperbloom teams, which is the other kind of team that I suggest building. Like National Hyperbloom, that's the foundation that I recommend everybody to have. Like it's like you don't have to have them, but in my opinion, if you have a good Hyperbloom team built and a good national team built, that gives you a really, really solid foundation to kind of build off of, no matter how the Abyss changes, because one of those two teams is almost always going to be useful in every Abyss. So yeah, I would recommend working on Emblem if you're still building a national team, but if your national team is already kind of up and running, then I would move on to the Deepwood domain and start working on a Hyperbloom team next. All right, I think I'm going to call it a wrap there, or wrap it up there. Thank you everybody for tuning in again. I know it's late for people in America, and I guess in Asia it's not too bad of a time, but yeah, America and Europe, it's a rough time to stream right now. So thank you for tuning in. I appreciate that. Thank you for all the tips that you gave me for helping me clear floor 12. Hopefully I can repay the favor and come up with some good tips of my own when I work on these videos. And until the next Abyss reset, I will see you guys.
流通のために作られた船は